Yeah. Clean up the block for why every shit is apparent. I'm shining like Jerry.
Lauren said it ain't what you cop, it's what you keep. I think it ain't what you got, it's what you leave.
I lost my mind, I must be crazy. Got lost and lost connections, got me hazy.
Back in the space where I'm changing the pace. I've been on a save in the face, but I'm cool on a race, not a knot in my lace.
Never wanted to whip it in the kitchen, but was always in that lab whipping writtens. Pushing dope lines up on the track that always kept them coming back, so went away. Yeah, I do got that crack.
Handle my business like Kyrie Derby, like Kentucky Derby. I be pressing for, crossing over like the sham guard, making moves like it's dance hall.
New level, new me, trying to get around from the homie. Trying to stick around like Kobe.
Blend where I've been if you wish to critique. Up until then, keep your lips to your teeth. Paid all them dues, every cent got receipts. And I'm making the moves cause the kid gotta eat and I keep so much.
That ain't hip hop, no politics, no BS. Mid-year review 2020. Look, every year we give it to y'all. The mid-year consists of our top 5. At the end of the year, in December, January sometime, we'll give you a top 10. But for the mid-year, it's a top 5. So we're gonna go and y'all are gonna hear what our top 5s are and our critiques of everybody's top 5.
I pretty much do my top 5 based on replay value, how many times I've gone back, listened to the albums, you know. So the replay value, the replay of the album is high. And of course, me enjoying it, but I guess replaying it is the same equal as me enjoying the album. So that's how I base my mid-year top 5 and all our year ends and mid-year albums that we do, that we also do. So all right, so at number 5, I have Bodie James with Price of Tea in China. At number 4, I have Freddie Gibbs and Alchemist Alfredo. At number 3, I have Race to 5'9" Allegory. Number 2, I have Run the Jewels 4. And number 1, Kai, Descendants of Cain.
Yeah, so like very similar to B, replay value, you know, what albums I'm going back to, really listening to, really enjoying, bumping in the whip, you know what I'm saying? But for me, number 5, I got Bodie James and Alchemist, The Price of Tea in China. Number 4, give me The Alchemist and Conway Lulu. Number 3, give me Westside Gun, Pray for Paris. Number 2, give me Run the Jewels 4. And number 1, Alfredo, Alchemist, Freddie Gibbs.
This year, you know, is still by albums that I enjoyed the most and play the most, that have, you know, a lot of replay value. But over the years, as my listening habits have changed, with me listening to a lot more podcasts, you know, I also added like Impact and some of the things that we discussed during the review when I went back and added a few albums that I haven't listened to in a while. So I had to kind of get back in that moment where I remember the reasons why I liked them. So that was the additional thing, but it's still really based on what I really, really like, and the albums are really, really fucking dope as shit. And given the times, you know, a lot of the albums have content that I think are, you know, really relevant to what's going on today. So number 5, I have Freddie Gibbs and Alchemist Alfredo. Number 4, I have Clelly Chris and Chris Keys, Innocent Country 2. Number 3, I have Kaz, Descendants of Cain. Number 2, I have Royce da 5'9's The Allegory. And number 1, I have Run the Jewels 4.
Oh yeah, I mean, I do mine the same way I do every year, which is just what I listen to the most, what I return to the most. Number 5, I have Freddie Gibbs and Alchemist Alfredo. Number 4, I have Sadistic with Delirium. Number 3, I have Moody Black with Fuzz. Number 2, I have Ka, Descendants of Cain. And number 1, We Run Them Jewels Fast, RTJ4.
This one was really hard for me this year, because normally I would put the top 5 albums that I'm listening to the most, but I think because the way this year has gone, it's altered the way I listen to music. So kind of like Ken, I had to go with like Impact as well, and just importance of albums, along with how often I listen to them. It's just not solely like what I'm listening to. Because if that was the case, Drake would probably be on here because I want to listen to something lighter. At number 5, I have Conway and Alchemist, Lulu. Number 4, I have Westside Gun, Pray for Paris. Number 3, I have Run the Jewels, RTJ4. Number 2, I have Freddie Gibbs and Alchemist, Alfredo. And number 1, I have Ka, Descendants of Cain.
So as y'all can see, man, look, Dennis Studios, it's still somewhat open. Like, we're in here.
Soft reopen.
You know what I'm saying? This is the first time we've been here since the whole COVID thing has hit, since the last time. Shit, it's been like 3 months or so like that. We're staying safe. I don't have a mask on, but we're all 6 feet away. Mask on, mask off, mask on, mask off.
Shout out to Future.
Exactly. But yeah, man, our top 5 of the year, man. So the real winner in 2020 has been Alchemist, really. Fuck the rappers. Alchemist got 3 out of my top 5.
Pretty much.
Now the one that did get bumped off, and it's just like B, I agree with you, it's just replay value for me primarily. Like that's the most influential thing on my list. The Allegory. So I'm guaranteeing it now. It will be in my top 10, but I didn't play it as much as these other projects because and like I said, like I love that album because I learned some shit from it. However, I just haven't replayed it as much as these other ones. So it's gonna get bumped into the top 10 because it's 100. It's one of the best albums of the year, and I can't deny that. I couldn't put it in my top 5 because I don't listen to it like that no more.
I mean, who knew that when he dropped his album that all this shit would pop off? I think that's, the thing that in retrospect now makes it an interesting album and even more impactful because who knew, right? Similar to because I think that verse Killer Mike wrote on Walking in the Snow was last year or sometime like that. Who knew that it would be relevant as well? But, I think given where we are today and what that album was talking about, addressing some of those issues, is why I put it as high, because I fucking love the shit out of the album. But no, I feel you, Feefo. I don't, these all are subjective. These all are personal choice,
I'm surprised you can have, what's the joint you just did with Big Ghost?
Big Ghost, Conway. That, I
know you was loving that.
Yeah, and I love that project too.
Yeah. But I get it. It's just it's hard.
Yeah, it was hard. Like I was telling the crew earlier. Like I felt that this could have been a top 10 mid-year. Honestly, how good hip hop has been in 2020 through the first 6 months. But the only reason why I didn't put that one as high is because I listen to Lulu more. And I feel even though Lulu's way shorter, it hits like a little different. As much as I love the Big Ghost joint, like this one, Lulu hits different. And especially like Paid in Full is one of my favorite movies too. You know what I'm saying? So just the references and stuff, like that one just, I listen to more.
Did anybody else have Allegory besides Ken?
Just,
It was all two?
Yep. That's what I'm talking about.
I didn't. It bumped it out. Freddie Gibbs bumped it out. It would have been 5, but I thought the same thing you thought. I was just like, man, I'm not gonna lie. When Freddie Gibbs came out, I feel like I listened to it more and it hit me a little bit harder. But Allegory could easily bump Freddie out in a heartbeat. It could easily bump that out. So yeah.
So you didn't have none of the Conways or the.
Nah, man, and that was where I struggled the most because the 4 was, I won't say relatively easy, but I knew what they were. But that 5th spot, it was Conway, it was Westside Gun, it was Conway again and Big Ghost, it was Conway and Alchemist. And Lulu initially had that spot. But I'm giving it to Freddie because I liked that one at Alchemist Beats more on this one than I did on Lulu. And that was the edge that it got. But I love the fact that I had to kind of struggle with that decision because, and I was gonna say this to y'all when we were recording one time, but now I feel like this is a good year for hip hop. I know I've been critical the last couple of years in terms of like when we get here, everybody starts saying this online or whatever that I see in Twitter, whatever. But this year we've had some really, really great projects from the stuff that I've been paying attention to and listening to. and I'm like, yo, it's like, this is the one. So I hope the second half of the year, continues what I've heard so far. But yeah, man, like there were like 3 or 4 projects that I left off that could have been on it. Like Stove God Cooks, Reasonable Drought. I wanted to put that shit on here. Arm & Hammer just dropped their shit. And I'm still going through that and listening to it. So those are 2 more albums in addition to both the Conways and Westside Gun. So it's like, damn. So like you said, that's an easy 10.
Yeah.
That I could put together right now. But yeah, I mean, we've had some really good projects. I think I'm the only one that got Innocent Country too, right?
Yeah, it was very close to making mine. Like that probably would have been 6 or 7 for me. But yeah, man, it's just, this has been a weird year for me, listening wise.
Did you have Allegory or no?
I didn't, and I listened to Allegory like twice before we came because like I remember I really liked the project, and I think ultimately it just felt really long, and I think I let that go against it for me because it felt so long, and I think because it's long, I had some stuff that I skipped around on. But when I remember listening to it at first, I didn't skip as much, but when I went back to it, I skipped around a couple of times. So, but I thought it was still a very important album, and I was hoping that somebody would have it on here on this list because, yeah, man, it definitely would be in the top 10. I don't know about 6, maybe more so 7, 8 for me, but yeah, it definitely would be in my top 10 for sure.
That album I was fighting to put in my 5th spot, but Bodie just.
Yeah, I feel you. And Bodie was another one that I wanted to put on my list, and it's just been weird, man. This was really hard for me. Yeah. This wasn't that hard for y'all?
Nah. Like the Allegory was the toughest one for me.
Damn.
But like I said, like this was like the mid-year that I could have did a top 10. I really could have.
Yeah.
But the top 5 wasn't that hard.
This was an easy year for me.
That's crazy.
I mean, there's artists on this list that anytime they drop, they're gonna be.
Yep.
I mean, I think my every year since the past like 3 or 4 has had either it's had a Run the Jewels if they drop something. But it's also had a Sadistic project. It's always had a Moody Black project.
Yep.
But looking at my list again, Royce would have been 7 because I put it in order. Royce would have been 7. 6 would have been that Rap Forever project, Purple Moonlight Pages.
I never listened to it.
You fucking up.
Okay.
You fucking up. I mean, I don't really know if y'all even fucked with Milo. I don't think we've reviewed any Milo albums.
I like some of his stuff.
Time Flies or whatever it was.
Well, I thought that was just me, you, and Spectrum folks.
Oh, maybe it was.
I don't think as a collective we reviewed any Milo projects, but this is probably Milo's best project. And it's jazzy, it's weird, it's quirky, and he's rapping his ass off on this album. But yeah, that would have been my 6. Royce would have definitely been 7. The Arm & Hammer, I didn't put it on there because I've had it for a minute, but it really just came out, and it just seemed a little bit disingenuous for me to be like, well, I've had it for, I've only had Run the Jewels for a couple weeks. So I guess it really wouldn't have been that disingenuous.
Self-checked himself.
Yeah, I know. Saying it out loud, I'm like, no, Myke, you're full of shit. But I haven't listened to the Arm & Hammer as much as the Run the Jewels. But Arm & Hammer would have definitely been in this list. And I guarantee by the end of the year, it will move up. But right now, it's at like 8. But yeah, I think the past couple of years, I've said that it's been a good year for rap. And I could easily make a top 10 for mid-year. And this is definitely one of those years.
Yeah, I criticized it last year, and then I kind of reversed what I said because I felt it was unfair because there were a lot of stuff that I haven't listened to. I think with some of the stuff that you do pay attention to and listen to, Myke, is, I think you're always going to have some good shit to drop. It doesn't expand as much, in terms of like the mainstream other shit like that.
Did you have Color Chris? I didn't hear it.
No, I told Ken that when I was making my list, it was fight. Like I'm like, damn, what should be 5? Should it be Quelly Chris or Bodie James? And yeah, Bodie James, because I definitely go back to that album a lot.
So you'd rather go for the killing instead of the saving. Okay.
I know, right? Ain't that crazy? But yeah, man, I just fuck with Bodie. I mean, that's like Feefo. This is definitely Bodie James' best album up to date so far in his career. If we did a 10 right now, Quelly Chris would be number 6.
Did any of the Conway joints make your project?
Nope.
Okay.
But when I listed my albums that I've all enjoyed this year, both of Conway joints is on there. West Side, that would have probably been number 7 if I would have did Pray for Paris. I had ETO, The Beauty of It, V-Don, Black Mass, Clear Soul Forces with You, and Ty Ferris, no cosign, just cocaine. 3.
Gotcha. So Rob, mine and your list are pretty much the same except for Descendants of Cain. Why'd you pick Lulu over Big Ghost for Conway?
I think I said in the review I like Lulu more. I just liked him over the Alchemist production. I feel like it was, I don't know, it just felt more cohesive to me than Big Ghost. Not saying that Big Ghost projects didn't, but I don't know. I just I have more takeaway songs from Lulu than I do on the Big Ghost project. Like I can barely remember the song titles on that one versus on Lulu. You know what I'm saying? Shoot Sideways, Calvin.
It's more memorable.
Gold BBS's. Like it's like I remember that one more. You know, Kai, I told y'all about that. You know what I'm saying? It just hit me in a personal place. You know what I'm saying? Just
And were we the only 2 that had Pray for Paris?
I believe so.
Yeah. So why'd you put Pray for Paris on your?
I feel like that's probably his best work. I won't say best work, but his most creative work today. Yeah. So it was just I played a lot. And I don't know. I just feel like he did something special on that one. Yeah,
like there's so many. The reason why I had to put Pray for Paris, there's so many joints that are non-skippables, like George Bondo, Eurostep. But like Pray for Paris, I agree with you. I think that is West Side Gun's best work so far, and definitely by far his most creative work. Like, cause I don't know, like it's so luxurious, but at the same time it's so gritty and nasty, and that contrast is. It's crazy how they are able to do that. You know what I'm saying? So that's super dope. Super dope.
RTJ would have been a little higher, but I had to put it at 3 because, like I said, Kai just hit me in a special place. Freddie Gibbs, I was kind of like you going back and forth with that one. But like I said, which is on the Patreon, we have a Patreon video. I mentioned that I can't play RTJ all the time. I'm not always in that mood, like in that, you know what I'm saying? I'm just, why are you looking like that? I'm just not always in that mood, if I'm being honest. I'm a real mellow, chill type of guy, and that's not what I get when I listen to RTJ.
I 100% understand.
Y'all not down with Revolution.
No, hey, look, it was number 2 on my list. So no, but I get you, Rod, like, cause it's like I can't just throw it on. Like I feel like I have to want to listen to it. Like I can't just put it on as background. Yeah, like I can't just be like, oh, let me just throw something on. Like I have to want to listen to that. It's amazing. And it's still number 2 on my list, but like I have to consciously
make that decision.
I've been telling myself not to listen to it.
And that's dope. And that's dope. But for me, like again, like I'm never in that. I'm rarely in that mood. I'm rarely in the mood to be hyped.
That's your problem. we ready to ride. Rod's not trying to ride.
I'm trying to chill, goddamn. I can't lie. I'm trying to fucking chill. Yeah, I did a lot of riding back in the day, like and not just on some revolutionary shit, but just like bumping in the whip. Like I did a lot of that shit, that hype shit, but now I'm just chilling, man. I'm fucking married, man, with kids. Nigga. I got a new baby. I can't be listening to RTJ. While I'm rocking my baby to sleep. So that's why that one came in 3rd for me. But I think under different circumstances it probably would have made 2 or 1. But I just wanted to talk about some of the ones that didn't make it, like Bodie James. Like I really wanted to put that on there. I really wanted to. Quelle Chris, I really wanted to. I even wanted to put Jay Elect on mine.
I was about to ask you that.
Yeah. Hey. Jay Elect, no, that's fine. But Jay Elect probably will make my top 10.
And you know what, Rod? Look, I know I just said hell no, and I had that reaction. It's not because of the quality of work, because the quality of work was there. You know what I'm saying, to be in consideration for a top 5.
Yeah.
Just like I said in the review, my biggest issue is that Jay-Z rapped less than you and he stole the fucking show. And as a debut album like that, I can't get past that. I honestly cannot get past that.
I got you.
It's still a good Jay-Z album.
Exactly, yeah.
It is.
Yeah, it is. It really is. He gets some of his best lines on this album.
100%.
So yeah, it definitely probably would make my 10. Mick Jenkins. Nobody had
Circus.
Yeah.
Good EP, but
Yeah.
I just never thought of like being top 5 worthy. But it's still an enjoyable EP. You know, not taking nothing away from it.
I
Denzel
can't even
Curry.
remember if I like that one or not.
Still an enjoyable album. Still listen to it, but it's just
Yeah.
I'm not running to it. There's just other albums that command my attention a lot more.
yeah.
Yep.
Alright, cool.
Putting the albums in my top 5 was pretty easy. Arranging them was a little bit difficult. You know, because I mean, this lineup could change. I think number 1 is probably going to stay the same. Cobb might move down once I calm down off listening to it. The only album that I had on my list, I think that came out closer to the front of the year was that Sadistic Project. And I could see that moving up just because, I mean, I'm always in the mood to put that shit on. But the Stoke God Cooks album was really good, but I don't think I liked it enough, at least not yet, to put in my top 10.
So that was another mid-year. Look, man, we do it every single year. We got our top 5. Thank you for watching. Thank you for participating. That is hip hop, no politics, no BS.